Hi, my name is Bob. And about 3 years ago, I received a living donor kidney from this girl here.
Hi, my name is Kim. About 3 years ago, I donated my kidney to this man, Bob.
About 6 years ago, I was 49 years old, and I was diagnosed with a rare kidney disease, focal segmental glomerular sclerosis. I didn't even know I had it. I had no symptoms. I actually found out about it by accident when I was going to a doctor for leg vein treatments. They did blood work and found out that my kidney function was only 23%. At that time in my life, I was very active. I did a lot of outside things. I loved to fish, hunt, golf, just be outside. And really didn't affect me till a couple years later. I was told by the doctors that I would eventually have to start dialysis or get a kidney transplant, as there was no cure for the disease I had, and at the time they didn't know what caused it, which they still don't. I was living a normal life. I really wasn't feeling any kind of sickness for quite a while, but I was warned by the doctors that eventually I would, and that did happen probably after 2 years. I went as long as I possibly could without doing dialysis, but I'm a nurse, so when it came time to do the dialysis, I chose peritoneal dialysis. I started that approximately 2 years after I was diagnosed with the kidney disease itself. I was told by the doctors I would definitely need a transplant. They told me the best option for me would be a living donor, but I was put on a donor list for a deceased donor. But they highly recommended trying to find a living donor. It was easy for me to talk about trying to find a living donor because I was desperately in need of a kidney. My condition was getting worse by the day, and there was no doubt that I would need a kidney. And like the doctors recommended, my best option was a living donor. So I just started to try to spread the word as best I could amongst friends and family. The doctors recommended that I try to get a living donor. They said that I would be on the waiting list for a deceased donor. They said the wait for that, because of my blood type, would be 3 to 5 years. I didn't feel confident that I would make it. I tried everything in my power to try to find a living donor, and they said that the chances of a greater success for a transplant, a successful transplant, would be with a living donor, that they had much more success with living donors. So I took it upon myself to do everything I could to try to find one. I had started looking for a living donor by putting a sign on the back window of my Jeep that said, "I need a kidney, my blood type, my phone number, and God bless." A girl responded to it, but it didn't. She went through all the process of trying to be a donor for me, but it just didn't work out because of technicalities. Then this girl came into the picture, and she went to get tested to be my living donor. On the morning of the surgery, I was terrified, basically because I didn't know whether Kim was going to go through with it or not. That unknowing apprehension was just overwhelmingly terrifying. She had to go into the surgery before me, of course, to take her kidney out and prep it for me. But just the unknowing was absolutely terrifying.
The day of the surgery for me, I was nervous because I'd never had a surgery before, not even a minor one. So this was the first surgery where I was getting put under. If anything, I was nervous because of that. As far as the surgery to donate the kidney, there was no apprehension, no nervousness whatsoever regarding that, because I felt like this was what I needed to do. I felt at peace with it, and it just felt right.
I never met this woman. I never got to meet her before the surgery. Both our schedules were just so busy. I never got a chance to meet her. We actually didn't meet till 5 days after the transplant. She was in the hospital on the same floor right around the corner from me, and we never met till 5 days after the surgery. We were both being discharged from the hospital. What a moment that was, huh?
It definitely was a moment that was beyond words. I felt like I had known this man for forever. I met him when I walked actually down to his room, and I kind of poked my head around the corner, and I looked at him as he was going over his meds with the discharge, probably the pharmacy guy.
Yeah, pharmacy.
And it just, that moment that we locked eyes, again, I never met him before the surgery, but it felt like I was put in his life for a reason. I was put there at the moment where I saw his truck sign on the back of his window. Everything just fell into place, and it felt right.
That's for sure. Here we are now. After the surgery, I was laid up for about 6 months. I was out of work. How long were you out, Kim?
I was off of work for about 3, but because of the physicality of my job, because I work for the post office, and it being winter, I took a little bit more time, I think, than I needed off, but that was good because it allowed me to recover a little bit more.
I wasn't in bad shape at all. I was so thankful to not have to do dialysis again. Oh my gosh, that was just absolutely so liberating to not have to be worried about doing dialysis anymore. I can't express how much her giving me the kidney meant. A life without dialysis was the prompt here, but it's inexplicable the way that the freedom of not being so dependent on a procedure to keep you alive anymore. After the surgery, they told us that when they put her kidney in me, it immediately started working like it was meant to be. There was a quote of the surgeon. Living without dialysis, you just can't explain it. It frees you up to do the things you always wanted to do. I was very limited and restricted on things that I could do because of dialysis. Your life depends on it and revolves around it. It's been 3 years now, just over 3 years since I got a kidney here from Kim here, and I feel great. I'm back to my old self. I'm doing the things I always loved to do, hunting, fishing, outdoor activities. I'm back to work full time and overtime. Back to my normal life as I was before the kidney disease struck me. How I feel, other than feeling great, is unexpressible appreciation for this woman right here. I wouldn't be here making this video if it wasn't for her.
Now, 3 years, I feel absolutely the same exact way as I did before the surgery. There has been no change to me, how I feel, the things that I do. If I could say that to somebody else that is thinking about living organ donation and they're worried about are they going to be able to do the things that they did before the surgery, and I am absolute living proof that you will be able to do every single thing that you've done prior. I work out, I run, nothing
Back to work full time?
Yeah, back to work full time. Nothing is limited in my life because of my organ donation.
And we do a lot of things together, too.
Eat pizza?
As for what kind of relationship I have with my donor, I love this woman to death. I couldn't imagine her not being in my life. She's such a special part of my life now. She's become family. We become family. I know her whole family, and it's just a wonderful thing. It couldn't have happened from a better person or in the situation that it happened. We're best friends. I mean, we are very, very, very close, probably closer than some other donors and recipients.
I have an incredible bond with Bob now.
That's for sure.
Definitely. I know I am incredibly blessed to have a relationship with my recipient. I know that there are people out there that choose to give anonymously. But I feel incredibly honored and blessed that he chooses to have a relationship with me.
I never expected to have the kind of relationship that I do with Kim. We become very, very close. We do a lot of things together. That part of it I never expected. I thought I would know her once in a great while, talk to her, but we're together a lot more than a lot of donors and recipients, I believe. We talk all the time. We text almost every day. So we have a really, really close relationship, which is great.
That is definitely something that I knew that I wanted a relationship with him. If he chose to not have that relationship that I wanted with me, I was going to be okay with that, because I just wanted to know that I saved somebody else's life. But yeah, we have an incredible bond that I think is stronger than we both ever expected it to be.
Anticipated, no doubt. The biggest thing that I learned from this whole experience has to be how frail life is. We take so many things for granted, and I've learned what's really important in life. Things I used to worry about, things I used to get so stressed over, mean nothing to me anymore. I also learned that there are good people in this world, like this woman sitting next to me. I call her my angel. That's the perfect description for her. She saved my life, and she's an angel as far as I'm concerned. She's a living angel. There are good people in this world, and people willing to sacrifice. I mean, she went into this not knowing what her consequences might be.
I think the biggest thing that I've taken from this is, I don't sweat the small things in life anymore. I live life for the day.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know what the day has to entail. It could be your last. So, you know what? I don't sweat the things like minor life issues that I might have gotten stressed about, because it could be different. I could be that person that is waiting for an organ. So I definitely don't sweat the small stuff, and I live the life for the day.
My advice to people who are waiting for a kidney or need a kidney is don't give up hope. Have faith. I did a lot of praying, but that's just my religion involvement with it. My faith was very strong and kept me going through it all. Do what you have to do with your dialysis. Follow the directions of your doctors. Stay on the regimen. Stay on whatever diet you have to follow. I did it for 3.5 years, and it paid off, because here I am telling the story with my donor. Just don't give up hope. Keep the faith and do everything possible that you can to try to find your own living donor. Advertise, put the word out there. Use social media as a network to get the word out there that you need a donor. That's my best advice. The question was, is there anything you'd like to say to your donor? Well, I tell her all the time, I love her. We're beyond thank you. I mean, I've said it a million times, and she knows. She knows exactly how I feel. I've expressed it over and over at the beginning, and it just became something that doesn't have to be said anymore. I love this woman with all my heart. I couldn't ask for a better donor. The friends that we become, the bond that we have. Excuse me. It's an incredible thing.
If I had anything to say to him, which I tell him all the time, he has said to me on more than one occasion, he's called me his angel, but I need to flip that over on him and say that he is my angel, because he has enriched my life in more ways than one. Living organ donation has definitely made a positive impact on my life, and he has as well.
We're good friends. Best buddies.
Bubbles.